Okay, so here's this chair I got at the at Urban Ore, and you know it's $5, so it's you know it's not a high buck chair. I needed a chair that was a little higher on the seat, so I could sit at the bench and do finer work, and you know have something to sit in. This one's kind of cool because it folds up. It folds up, and then it's got a foot thing. Now the foot thing was on upside down. Somebody bought it at Ikea and they put it together wrong. They had this little gusset on the top side, although with those holes, I can see how they might have done that. So anyway, I'm going to flip it over and put it up on the table here, and you guys can get a look at my next problem and that we're going to try to fix. Okay, so this is what happens when you don't look too close when you're at the junkyard. It has this little swivelly foot on it, and it's missing one here. And you can see that this one's been missing for a while because it's actually ground down. Now, the stinker is that there was two of these chairs there, okay? And I probably could have, it might have had one on it too, and I could have snorked this button off of it, you know, while I was there. But it wouldn't be very entertaining video-wise. So what we're going to do, move that out of the way a little bit. See if I can pop this off. Okay, there it goes. It's got a little spherical knob there, as you can see. And I believe that there's enough of this one left that this will, yeah, it looks like it'll be fine. So we're going to create a new one of those out of, I don't know, some kind of plastic. We'll find something that we have in stock here, and make one of those up. Now, this shape internally is kind of hard to measure because it's re-entrant inside. So we're going to use a little technique to make a casting of the inside of that so that we can make a tool that's the right shape. This is, you know, Ikea junk here, and you know, it's probably metric, the whole 9 yards, right? So we'll take an inside form of that and then recreate that little foot. So let's do that. All right, let's start out by we're going to clean this out a little bit with a little denatured alcohol. Our hot glue gun is warming up. Let's give it another one. Get some crud in there. Actually, in this case, dirty's probably not that bad because we want it to release. So, but I'm going to put some mold release in there anyway. Just because I can smell that that glue gun heating up. Okay, so this is some mold release that somebody gave me to try. I can't remember the name of it. A little mystery jar there, carefully labeled for chemical inventory. And I'm just going to swab a little on the inside of this thing here. Just coat the inside. All right, and we'll let that dry a little bit. Good thing it was in a bag, huh? Okay, and then so I'm going to do the hot glue in there, but I'm going to kind of pot this screw in the middle of it. That way I got something to get a little leverage on it to pull it out. So that's the plan anyway. And see how we're doing here. All right, we're getting close here. This needs a couple more minutes before it gets nice and hot, and I can do enough to fill that little cavity. So be back in a minute. Okay, so we're pretty close here. One other thing is you can use a little hot plate like this one if you need a larger volume of this. This only has kind of a limited output for a small feature like this. This should be fine. We'll be able to fill that without any problems. But if you have a larger volume that you want to fill and you don't want to have cold joints in it, you can nip up some of the glue sticks and then just melt them into a mass, or get an old pan at the thrift store or something like that, and that you don't care about, right? Don't take your wife's stuff out of the kitchen, and then you can melt a larger volume at once. So I'm going to zoom in on this, and we're about ready to shoot this one here, and let's just do it. Let me change the camera. Okay. Now this stuff's pretty hot. Obviously you don't want it on your skin. As if I needed to tell you guys that, right? Let me get a good blob going. Oops. I probably should have clamped this. Alright, I need to set this glue gun down for a sec. That's one thing on my cheap glue gun. So as this starts to solidify, I need to make sure that thing's standing at attention there. I think I'm going to overfill this a little bit. Come on. No, I really want it. Alright. Alright. So I think this is pretty hard now. I think that's just the flexibility of the adhesive. Let's see if we can get this thing to pop out here. All right, there we go. Made a good sound, huh? All right, that's pretty clean. So now you can see we've got a pretty good representation of that inside shape, and we can actually caliper this and take a few measurements. I wonder if I should stick it in there and let it get to full. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to worry about it. So I got a couple of good datums here now too, because this is really that upper edge. That's the bottom, so I can really measure this pretty well, and then create a tool that has that shape in it that I can come in and create that internal shape. Okay. Oop. All right. There we go. Alrighty. Okay, I ended up making 2 of these just because it was easy. Now, what I want to do is I want to cut at least one of these, kind of dead nuts in half. So what I'm going to do is trim this one so it sits flat, hopefully without killing myself here. Okay, I got a nice flat end on it now. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball the center, but I want to make sure that so what I'm going to do is I've measured it. It's, like 635, 38, somewhere in there, depending on where you measure it. So we're going to cut it in half, and then I'll measure the half, and then just sand it till it's just half of this diameter here. That looks pretty good. All right, let's go for it. I'm just going to kind of lean on the knife, slowly cut through, or I should say patiently cut through. Okay. Alright, now let's get a measurement and see what we got here. It's probably, what are we looking for? That's not bad. Okay, so it's 630, like 319 that we're looking for, something like that. And we're at 327. So what I'll do is on some sandpaper, I'll just kind of sand this flat until I get my dimension, and then we're going to use that to trace around to make our form tool for the ID. So that's how that works. That one I think I'm just going to save for now and keep it aside. That one actually came out better. I used a slightly different technique, and it came out a little bit better. So. Okay, so this is some ground flat stock. It's this pre-hardened 4142. So it's not real hard, but it'll be fine for cutting some soft plastic for the foot. So I darkened it with a little Sharpie, and now I'm just gonna kind of align this thing. And this is, you know, I don't know, it's kind of a non-precision thing. There's no good way to line this up dead nuts, you know, but we'll get some guidelines on there. What I want to make sure is I include the center, because we need to go all the way to the center. And then I want to know where that little relief is. Actually, this looks pretty good. Okay, well, I got a good enough line there that I can do that. Now I could file this, I could grind it, kind of do whatever I want to get that curve nice and smooth. And then I'll relieve this backside here. I'll cut the backside away a little bit so that it clears this going. Actually, I almost don't even need to. I just have to have a relief past the center line there. So anyway, that'll reach in there, and then we'll come over sideways, and it's like a form tool that will cut out that internal shape. So anyway, okay, so we're gonna touch this up on the diamond wheel here, but first I want to tilt the table a little bit. Let's make sure that's still going to be in focus there. Like so. I want actually a fair amount of I may refocus this actually, a fair amount of relief under there. What is that? It's like 20 degrees right now, which is a lot. But yeah, so we can just go around like that. All right. You know what? I'm going to refocus this shot a little bit. So excuse me for a sec. All right, let's try that. There it goes. So I ground away all the stuff underneath, and now it's taken away on the top edge. Well, looks pretty tasty. All right. I'm going to call that okay. We're going to try that. All right, so I relieve this around the corner here so it's not going to rub on the opposite side internally there. Let's do a little check fit on our where the heck is the plug? I gotta go find it. All right, hopefully you guys can see this here. I'm gonna shine my light in there. Maybe that. Oh yeah, actually that kind of works, doesn't it? You can see it fits that internal contour pretty good. Anyway, that's what I'm looking for. I got a good, pretty good match up there. I'm happy with that. So let's do a little test cut on some plastic. Okay, so I was poking around on my radius tools, and I found one, some big monster radius. Is it even marked? I used to mark them all the time, but I don't know what this one was for. Anyway, this matches pretty closely the radius on the original foot, so we're just going to use that one to cut that curve on the new foot. Now you can see here if this is oriented, in the machine, right? Here's my little chicken sketch. If it's oriented in the machine, right, I got to swivel this thing way around the corner like this, and then I have to get some reference so I know where the heck I am too, so at least reasonably. But that front part there matches pretty good, so I'm going to call that pretty decent. And so let's go make a foot. All right, so I got a piece of PVC chucked up here, and we're just going to do a test cut with our new fancy form tool here. So what I want to do is just create a hole, and then I'm going to plunge in there, and we're just going to try it and see if it behaves itself before we get started on the real McCoy there. Probably enough. Now it's just a ½ inch hole. Oh yeah, I think that'll work fine for our test. We'll touch off, we'll go in, and then we'll just come over and see how this little peckerwood behaves. All right, so I got it in a block, and we use the same. It's important that this is on center. Get my big old paw, my hoof out of there. Little one. Okay, so that's pretty good on center height. All right. sure we're snugged up there. Once again, this is just, you know, it's soft plastic, so shouldn't be that big of a deal. All right, well, let's see. Let's go for it. You won't be able to see much, but well, looks like a cut. It chattered initially, but well, it's definitely re-entrant around the corner. All right, well, it looks like it cuts. It looks like I got to run it at real low speed, which is fine for what we're doing here. I just have to size the blank correctly now, and we'll probably do the ID work first, since it's the fussiest, and if we screw it up, we can just move down the bar a little bit and continue on. But I think we're pretty close here to getting set up to make it. All right, so I'm gonna try to get some tools calibrated here so that we get something to work with. So what I want to do is I gotta be able to tell where this thing is, right? So I need to calibrate something there. Alright, we'll drill in a little way. Yeah, it looks fine. Alright, so that's 1/2 inch diameter there. So if my tool is touching that surface there, then I know that that it's at a 1/2 inch diameter, and I can calibrate the DRO. So that's the general idea, to get this calibrated. So let me actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean that up with a boring bar, just so it's a known diameter, and then or concentric and known. Accurate diameter, and then I'll touch this tool off here, our form tool, on that ID, and I'll set it, and then we'll sneak up on it too. So I have to get to the depth, I have to go to the depth, and then I have to move over 90 degrees to that. You can't do a little bit, do a little bit, do a little bit. You have to go to the depth and then you go over. So because of the shape of that internally. So let's just go ahead and keep going here. I think I got a little more here. And this particular diameter is kind of arbitrary. Doesn't really matter, at least initially, as long as it's not too big. All right. So I'll be able to pull it. You know what? You probably can't see diddly squat there. All right. Okay, so now you can see that that's nice and smooth in there. And I'll darken that a little bit, then I'll touch the other tool off in there. So let me change the camera around a little bit so you guys can see this. All right, so I got that diameter board, and we're just going to check it. That's 527. It's a little loose. That's better. That's 528. Okay, so that diameter is 528, or pretty close to it. And then what I'm going to do, let's see here. Let me Sharpie eyes the inside of this so we can tell when we've touched off. One little pesky spot there. Actually, we can probably do this by hand and just spin it by hand and come up in there and touch off. So, let's see here. This is kind of hard to see. You know what? It's really hard to see. How the hell am I going to see that? You know what? I can't see up in there. Alright, I got to do this a different way. Or move the camera so I can get my big head up in there and do that. Okay, well. Crap. Alright. Plan B. Gotta figure a different spot. Okay, so I managed to get a calibration of this tool off of that. I got in there and I was able to do a little touch off and scrape, so I got a good diameter calibration. So now what I want to do is I want to touch off the Z here on this surface, and all I'm going to do is just use this is this 1 mil shim stock. Oops. Alright, let's come out a little bit here. Because I know my depth, which I measured off of this guy here. And so I got, I would say, decent numbers. Alright, that feels pretty good. Alright, so that's going to be Z0. And now I'm going to come in, and I'm reading diameter directly on the DRO. Shots. And I know what my exit diameter is here, okay, because I plugged that. All right, it's 619. So as long as I'm below 619 on my oh, you know what? I need to go look at my sketch here. All right. All right. So let's see. Let's be about 5 thousandths below that. Let's just go 600. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plunge in straight in to my depth, which is 470. And then I'm going to come out at 90 degrees and come out to my 638 diameter. So I think I'm kind of ready. Let's try it. It's only plastic, right? All right. So 470 first. I want to clear the chips. $440, $60, $470. Okay, coming out. 20, 38. So, that bottom doesn't look that great. It's not too bad though. Alright, let's see what Mr. Pluggywug says. Alright. See how close we are on that. Okay, that's a little small, looks like. So that's probably just errors in my tool geometry there. But that's pretty easy to massage. Let's see what it is actually. quick. Okay, so we're a little small there, but I think that's okay. I can, you know, this edge here is got some radiusing on it a little bit, so maybe I'll leave that and I'll just radius that with some paper. It's not bad. Oh yeah, it's just a little, bit of crud at the bottom there. Yeah, the velocity is 0 at the center line of this tool, so they don't. You know what? I'm kind of liking this. So I think I'm going to do a little paper on that edge, and then ultimately that would pop in there, I think, and that would be a good test. So let me do that, and then we'll come back. Okay, so I massaged that edge a little bit with some Scotch-Brite and some paper, and it's still a little bit undersized, which is probably better. But I think I'm close enough that I'm gonna try this in there. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of lubricant on this, just so that it pops in and out easier. I don't want to have to fight it. All right, I think that's pretty good. So volumetrically, it looks about right. It's nice and tight in there. Pops out. Okay, so I'm going to call that ID good, or good enough for that. So now what we got to do is create this side shape, and that tool I showed you earlier, we're going to set that up, and then we're going to cut that radius, and then we're going to lop this sucker off and call it done. Alrighty, so what we're going to do is we're just going to hold that against there like so, and then we're going to rotate this tool. Let me loosen up the tool post here, because we got to swivel this thing all over creation. In fact, this is going to be okay, so not too bad. Alright, not too bad. Oops. Alright, excuse me. Alright, where was I here? Oops, there it is. Double check. Snugged up. Alright, that looks pretty good. Now, let me put that in neutral. I need a reference point for the radius, so I'm going to use that corner of that tool. Let's see, let's jam that up in there and see if it looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So I don't want to change the diameter, I just want to create that radius, so it looks like I can come in a little bit more. Alright, that looks pretty good. So now, how far do I come in? That is the question. I think it's, if I zero right here, that corner of that tool, I got to think about it for a sec. The corner of that tool, if I plunge in Z equal to that length right there, that should be about right. You know, and any errors in that curvature will show up as a width here, I think, is what's going to happen. And you know, this is not it's not a rocket nozzle or anything like that. So I think that's it. So I'm gonna call that good for diameter, and then I'm gonna zero the Z. And then I already know the length of this, which is 553. So actually, I think I'm gonna. Do I want to go slow here? Yeah, I think I do. Let's see. I think that's going to be. Yeah, it's all right. Why not? All right, let's go for it. No time like the present, right? All right, am I gonna bang into anything over here? No, looks okay. Good, it's cutting right away. So this is a fairly broad cut. So I think I'm gonna use a little bit of oil on it. It's 200. $300. 553. $400. 450. $500, a little bit more, 20, 30, 40, 53. Okay, that looks a little smaller down there. But in general, not bad. All right, let's see here. It's looking pretty tasty. It's a little thinner across there, but I'm not too worried about that. All right, I think we're ready for a whack off here, or a part off anyway. Let's do this first. Let me get the tool post squared up again, and then we'll lop that off, and we'll do a test on it and see how she looks. Alrighty, so we're squared up now. Alright. Come out. I'm going to move over the thickness of the parting tool and re-zero, and then go over to my number, which is 553. Right there. That's about right. Does it look good? Yeah, okay. That looks pretty good. Alright. Finish this thing off. So, yeah. What I want to do is, before I knock that thing off completely, I want to you know, do something with that back edge. I'll probably just hit it with a little filage there, or paper. What do I got handy? I got a big fat pip on there, but alright. That looks not bad. Alright, let's get that pip off, and let's get a try on this thing. Alright, so there's the replacement and the original. That's a pretty good match. Alright, let's put this one back on. Oop. Of course. Alright, that one's on. Okay. Ooh, I think it's tighter. impact device. That thing's a little chowdery there. I think I want I got something handy here. Okay, well, it's definitely tighter than the other one, but I think that's okay. Because it's just going to get looser, right? Okay, my $5 chair is now a $500 chair. Oh, you know what? I didn't think about it. I should have put some lube in there. Oh well. I still can, I guess, huh? If I can pop this thing off. Yeah. I'm gonna lube that, I think. Okay. Oh yeah. I think that's better. Okay, guys. Anyway, replacement foot, $1 million foot now on my $5 chair. Thanks for watching.